My children soon will be gods. この狩りの始まりだ。
I had the White Death 2 days ago.
No, I thought you had like the stomach of death.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah. He was sick a couple days ago, and he's feeling better, but he's still not 100%, as you can tell from his voice.
My voice sounds like crap, but I feel pretty good, thankfully.
Yeah, he sounds like an 80-year-old emphysema patient.
Yeah.
Or a lich, depending on how you want to go about it.
Get out of my tomb.
So...
Where did I put my phylactery again?
So, here's the thing with Simo... I know I'm going to butcher his last name. Simo Häyhä. I believe that's how it was pronounced. Simo was a Finnish sniper, and he had a credo. They asked him, like, when he was near death in a retirement home, they literally asked him, be like, what is the one thing that you would say was like your biggest difference maker? What made you such a great sniper? To which Simo only muttered one word: practice. And in all honesty, yeah, because Simo was not only a very talented sniper, he was also a really good speed skier. Have you ever seen those those Finnish dudes like speed skiing with like the little mini skis through the forests and everything?
Yeah.
And basically, Simo was that guy who did that, and he basically did that with a rifle on his back. He'd get to the proper placement, and he would kick, because a sniper's number one enemy is triangulation. And if they're able to triangulate where you are, then basically you're done. But the thing about Simo was that he was so good at the speed skiing that
he could get out.
He could get out, go somewhere else, go to another place that he knew really well, and he would kill from there. Which is why he is the most successful sniper in history. 542 kills. And he was given the credo, the White Death. He was given the name the White Death because in the Winter War, the 542 kills, by the way, was within the span of like a year or a year and a half.
Damn.
Yeah. And not only that, but he, like the Winter War that Finland, put up against the Russians. You ever, I don't know if you ever seen the skit. It's literally Russian in the Finnish countryside in the freezing cold. Tries to light cigarette and just goes, Snowman next to the Russian. Bless you. Oh, thanks, coming. Ah! That's literally where Simo comes from, and I love it. He's one of my favorite historical figures in terms of like wartime and just like dedicated work, and also the fact that he lived to be like into his 90s. Like he did. I know that Fat Electrician's going to like explain everything there is about Simo, so I'm just gonna let him do his work. But you're in for a treat, dude. This is a hell of a story, and I can't think of anyone more.
I know I've heard things about him before, but I'm sure there's all kinds of details I forgot. So.
Yeah. Who better to tell it in a profane and hilarious manner than the Fat Electrician? What do you got for us there, bud?
I've been making YouTube videos for about 3 years now, and this is probably the most requested video ever.
Not surprising.
The deadliest sniper of all time, Simo Häyhä, aka the White Death. The Finnish have a cultural concept known as sisu, and if you look at it at a glance, it can be easily confused with like tenacity or grit, but it's more than that. Sisu isn't just your ability to grit your teeth and push through adversity. Sisu is the personality trait that allows somebody to intentionally and stoically allow themselves to be immersed with adversity until they either become immune to it or become the adversity themselves. And in 1939, a 33-year-old, 5-foot-tall Finnish farmer named Simo found himself on the battlefield defending his home, outnumbered 100-1, surrounded by death on all sides. Rather than succumb to it, he became death itself.
Nicholas, What is this?
Hey,
The new CMMG.
good
PR4.
name, bro.
When did you get it?
What?
Nicholas.
Yeah.
That's my name, too.
I've had it.
Nice recovery.
No, I would have remembered something like this.
Okay, fine. I just got it, but I had to because it's the only one they Cerakoted to look like a Busch Light can.
So you got a new toy. What do I get?
I mean, what do you want?
I don't know. I'll do some shopping and I'll let you know. So have fun with the ad.
This video is brought to you by Delete Me, okay? Super simple business model. You give them money, they turn around and they make sure that online data brokers are not selling your personal information online. Okay, here's the deal. Pretty much anytime you use a free service on the internet and you click that little box that says, I agree to the terms and conditions.
I just never really trust any kind of app that I have no way of verifying whether or not they've actually done the service I paid for.
Sell that to online data brokers, and that's how they can afford to offer you a free
Yeah.
service. But when you have Delete Me, they go and they monitor all of these online data brokers for your personal information, and then if they find it, they submit all the opt-out forms on your behalf, so they have to take down and stop selling that information. So when you buy Delete Me, you're not actually buying anything, you're just buying your way out of all the negative consequences of all the free shit that you've already got. And because they continue to monitor those data brokers, you're buying yourself out of all the future negative consequences of all the free shit that you haven't even gotten yet. So if you want to give Delete Me a try, there's going to be a link and a discount code down below. Let's get back to the video. All right, Simo Häyhä. He was born on December 17th, 1905, and grew up on his family farm, which was right on the border between Finland and Russia. Now, when I say farm, people automatically think of like some dude in a baseball cap and overalls holding a pitchfork with rows and rows of corn in the background. It wasn't one of those kinds of farms. This is what you would call a forest farm, which is a lot more akin to like what we would call a homestead today. Basically, Simo grew up in a cabin in the woods, and they had a really big garden, and they grew enough food for themselves and then had enough extra to like take it to the farmer's market and sell for money. So Simo essentially grew up his entire life in this harsh, hilly, wooded, snow-covered, freezing environment.
Except for that part. That part doesn't sound dope. I don't like the snow-covered freezing environments.
I don't mind it.
Baseline, okay? This doesn't suck to him. This is just your normal everyday stuff.
This is life.
Walking uphill every direction through the snow is just a good day to him. And this almost goes without saying, but I'll mention it anyways, that hunting was also a humongous part of how his family put food on the table, and Simo did that from a very young age as well, hunting in this harsh environment. Unfortunately, Simo was pretty intimately acquainted with death at a young age. He had 4 brothers and 3 sisters. One of his brothers passed away in 1918 in the Finnish Civil War, and another one of his brothers passed away after suffering from heat stroke on a construction site. Simo is a member of one of the last generations that didn't have the luxury of quitting, okay? This guy was born, and the minute that he could walk, he was helping his family in their fight for survival. There was no quitting. There was doing or there was dying. And if you're not picking up what I'm putting down, the point I need you to get from this is Simo's a small guy. He's only 5 foot tall. He's 110 pounds, but he literally doesn't know what quitting is.
Yeah.
Things that me and you would call horrific circumstances is just a Tuesday to him.
Yeah. People back then, in a lot of ways, are just built different. And there's a reason why, once again, I'm not saying, like, people nowadays aren't tough. Like, some people nowadays are tough. But in general, the overall toughness of people in the first world have just, like, has gone on a sharp decline because of the convenience. Because of convenience and because of, ease of everyday life.
I'm a squishy bastard that wouldn't have the luxury of being the way I am back then. I'd be dead already.
I'd probably be alive, but I probably wouldn't be, like, thriving.
Just doesn't even register that he should be having a bad time. He's literally just happy to be alive. At the age of 17, following in his older brother's footsteps, Simo joins the Finnish Civil Guard, which is equivalent to like the American National Guard. Essentially, they train on weekends and they'll train a couple weeks a year, being ready in case they need to be called up by their country, but the rest of the time he's just going back being a farmer. As a member of the Civil Guard, he is issued one of the most iconic military service rifles of all time, the Mosin Nagant, a bolt-action rifle. He's also issued a small amount of ammunition to train with, but because of budgetary restrictions, they decided it'd be more efficient to just issue all of the Civil Guard members the materials they needed to load their own ammunition. So Simo was all...
Yeah, I know that scene. That scene's from Wind River, and yeah, Jeremy Renner actually did reload all that ammunition himself for these scenes.
also manufacturing his own ammo. During his time in the Civil Guard, he receives awards for his excellent skiing capabilities as well as his physical conditioning. He is not a big man, but the dude is the Energizer Bunny. He can just go forever. In addition to that, he also immediately becomes well known for being an excellent marksman. Before he received any formal shooting training from the military, he entered a regional shooting competition.
Yeah. I'm going to say, man, when it comes to hunting, you have to be good.
Where they had to shoot a target 100 times from 300 meters with iron sights, and he had 93 out of 100 hits. He won a ton of shooting competitions inside of the Finnish military, not just with his Mosin, but also with the Suomi M31 submachine gun. He very quickly qualified for the title of master shooter within the Finnish military, and it is said that he was able to estimate range within the accuracy of 1 meter up to 150 meters away. Okay, that's literally a superhuman ability. You can just point to something off in the distance, and Simo could eyeball it and be like, it's like 89 meters away, and he was dead on every single time.
That's dope.
That's a talent, dude. That is
it's
literal.
Like, have you seen the grandpa that plays like Battlefield?
Yes.
I love how he can be like, yeah, you can range find this by doing this, and I'm like, dude, the fact that he knows all that is so cool.
Not only that, but he also like talked about like siege not siege tactics, but breach tactics. He was just like, he's like, yeah, they breached the front door, and basically I'm covering the exits, and odds are you're going to have people hop out the window, but people are just so used to going through doors that they're just going to go through, and there they are. Bang, 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 bang. He just took out like 3 of them in a row. I was like, Jesus, Grandpa.
And dude's a badass.
The scariest part was how fast Simo could operate his Mosin bolt-action rifle. He could fire his Mosin accurately, insanely fast. So fast that they actually wanted to time him one day. So his buddies got a stopwatch, and they were going to time to see how many times Simo could hit a target 150 meters away with his bolt-action rifle in the span of 60 seconds.
With iron sights, by the way. No scope. No scope. Iron sights.
That's crazy.
Simo scored 16 hits in the span of 60 seconds with a bolt-action rifle.
He is the one.
And just on the same page, the Mosin Nagant only holds 5 rounds in the magazine, meaning that Simo shot the first 6 rounds, because there was 1 in the chamber, reloaded, shot the next 5, reloaded again, and shot another 5, hitting the target 150 meters away with fucking iron sights every single time. Okay, if you don't know much about guns, this is the only bolt-action rifle I have, but he had to do something like fire 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, reload the gun, and then he did that 2 more times in 60 seconds with 100% accuracy. So
that's crazy.
Needless to say, badass. Simo, badass motherfucker.
Simo is just a natural superhuman level shooter. So this goes on for 2 years, and then at the age of 19, he ends up joining the Finnish active military.
Like video games wouldn't even let you reload your rifle that fast.
No. Also, did you hear that? After 2 years of that kind of stuff, at 19, he was pulling that shit off at 17. Christ.
Has mandatory service of 15 months. And Simo gets attached to a bicycle battalion, which is... it's something I honestly can't decide if it's hilarious or terrifying, the image of Simo rolling up to a battlefield on a bicycle.
Oh shit, it's the Pecan Sandies.
So he serves as
We're fucked.
15 months in active duty military, nothing really going on at this point in time. Then he goes back into the Civil Guard and continues being a farmer. And that's pretty much all he's got going on for like the next decade. He's just in the Civil Guard, winning shooting competitions, going back home, taking care of his crops, and going hunting.
Oh, yeah.
November 26, 1939, an event known as the Shelling of Manila happened.
Yeah, the Russians came through and were just like, we're going to dominate you because we're Russia. We're big and we're bad. And then the Finns were just like, bet.
The real quick, oversimplified version of this.
A lot of people do that to Russia.
Oh, yeah.
Russia's like, we have big dick we would like to sling on your forehead. And people are like, I'm going to bite it off.
Yeah. I was going to say...
nearby people.
Well, I was going to say, the Finns did it in the snow, and the Japanese did it on the sea. Have you heard about...
The Ukrainians are doing it as well.
And the Ukrainians are kicking ass as well. But the thing is, you heard about, like how bad the Japanese beat the shit out of the Russians on the sea, right? Literally, the Russians had a Pacific fleet. They send all of the Pacific fleet in to fight the Japanese. The entire Pacific fleet gets destroyed. So, the Russians are like, well, we have the entire Baltic fleet. the pride of our Navy. Let's send them around. And then basically, they sent the entire Baltic fleet around the world to Japan. Baltic fleet gets there, the Baltic fleet gets destroyed. So the Russians basically...
They're just like, well, shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Bet.
Yes. And then, of course, not only that, but the Finns, they're just like... they're just like... How many Russians you killed today? 15? Ah, light day. Oh, here comes another one.
To take over Finland. Finland isn't down with that, so Russia now has to come up with a reason to go to war with Finland. They can't find any legitimate reasons, so they fabricate one. Simply put, this is a false flag event. The Russian military shells near a Russian town near the border with Finland. They then turn around and say, well, actually, Finland is trying to shoot artillery at our town, so we're going to go to war with them. Finland obviously denies shelling the Russian town
That's
because,
what we in the biz call a dick move.
Yeah. That's what we call...
Shit, they're shooting at us. You shot at yourself. Shut up, they're shooting at us.
And they offer to Russia like, hey, we're willing to let a third-party independent investigator come in and determine what happened. We did not do this. Russia declines and then invades Finland 4 days later.
Oh no!
Russia sent in 450,000 soldiers to attack Finland. Okay, to put that into perspective, the total population, not the military, the total population of Finland at this point in time is about 4 million people. So 25% of the entire Finnish population is getting sent in with guns to attack Finland.
Yes. That's insane. Also, I think your math is off with that.
Of the nation of Finland at this point in time is about 4 million people.
4 million
soldiers to attack Finland.
How many?
Russia sends in 450,000 soldiers to attack.
450,000. 4 million. Your math's off on that. That's not a quarter. That's like a tenth. Quarter sounds fun.
True. Yeah.
Quarter sounds more intimidating.
Finland. Okay, to put that into perspective, the total population, not the military, the total population of Finland at this point in time is about 4 million people. So 25% of the entire Finnish population is getting sent in with guns to attack Finland. And those 450,000 Soviets are being backed up by the Soviet population of 168 million.
Yeah.
Seems fair.
Calling this a David versus Goliath type situation is putting it mildly. On paper, Finland doesn't stand a chance. But Finland does have a couple of things going for it because in the years leading up to this,
Home turf's always a big one.
the Great Purge, essentially killing off all of his high-ranking
It's easier
and
to
knowledgeable
defend than it is to assault.
Yeah.
military leadership because he was worried that they were going to try to overthrow him. So by and large, the Soviet military at this point in time is pretty incompetent. And the Finnish, well, they're Finnish. They've got that going for them.
Well, I will say this. It wasn't until Zhukov came in and got everyone basically in shape and basically told everyone, like, look, you either stop doing dumb shit or I'm going to beat the shit out of you. And basically that's what Zhukov had to do, and Zhukov is the reason why like the Eastern Front actually was effective. See, I don't give Stalin any credit for that. Stalin was an incompetent shithead who basically killed off all of his military leaders simply because it's just like, well, they're probably going to try and kill me. And it's like, dude, are you really that paranoid? Yes, Stalin was that paranoid. He was a shithead, and he basically just made himself like head of the Soviet Union and eliminated all of his competition. And by doing so, not only that, but he was like, you want to talk about how bad of an anti-Semite Hitler was? Stalin was just as bad. Look up the Doctor's Plot. It's terrifying what he did.
Okay, if you've read about history, you know.
Didn't Russia prove that trying to go into other people's country through the cold and shit to attack them is a terrible fucking idea?
Well, the Russians proved it and the Germans proved it.
Because they proved it versus the Germans, right?
Well, no, the Germans proved that again. Well, yeah.
The Germans tried to invade Russia at a
Germans
point.
tried to invade Russia.
And they got fucked up for it.
Yeah, and
they couldn't survive like the cold conditions and shit going in.
Well, no, it's because Hitler wouldn't let them stop.
But I suppose that happened after this
No, this
Didn't it?
happened before.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This happened before, so
Yeah.
Russia hadn't quite figured that out yet, I guess.
Well, yeah. Well,
Maybe
Russia-
this is where Russia learned that. It's like, hey, remember when we tried to attack Finland? They're gonna try to do that to us. Let's be Finland this time.
Exactly, and that's what they did. And basically, they just, well, also the Russian government and just how cruel they treated their people. They literally locked down Stalingrad and let over 1 million people starve. That's terrible. That's terrible, dude. That just shows you
The
how
Soviet
little...
Union was not good.
Oh, no, dude. I mean...
They're still not the best country by any means.
No.
They're making some dumb mistakes over there.
Well, there's a couple of quick life hacks if you want to live a long, happy life, you know, like don't smoke, eat a good diet, never try to fight the Filipinos in the jungle, and never try to fight the...
Just don't try to invade people, man. It's never a good idea.
Don't fight Filipinos in the jungle. It's like, the rundown. By the way, they were in Brazil.
Don't try to invade places by yourself.
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna go in somewhere, it needs to be because you and a bunch of other people have agreed that whoever's there is not being cool.
Yeah, it's a pincer.
Yeah,
You need
like-
multiple fronts.
Yeah, you need a big fucking group of agreed allies to go into a place and take it back over from somebody who doesn't deserve to have it anymore. Like, don't go by yourself to try to take over another place. That's stupid.
Agreed.
Finnish people in the snow. It's just a bad time.
You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it.
Now, for Simo at this point in time, he had just last year in 1938 gotten formal sniper training from the Finnish military. Not that he really needed it, but he does have that title now. And when the Russians attacked, Simo was actually out in the field doing a training mission with the Civil Guard, so he didn't find out the Russians attacked until the day after when he was immediately activated and put into duty. So he gets orders, reports to the front line, and his new company commander is a man by the name of...
Eyelash.
You alright?
Got something in my eye.
Uh-oh. No bueno.
Some comfy bull.
Sounds like
It's
something.
in my other pocket.
There it is.
Let's see if I can get rid of it real quick. Let's go.
You alright?
Oh, yep, there it is.
Got it. Okay.
See?
I see it. I see it.
Eyelash.
That's always our
Sons of bitches.
Yeah.
Do your job. Stop fucking things up.
Agreed.
of Arne Utilainen, aka the Terror of Morocco. And this man, much like Simo, is a complete and absolute gangster, but instead of being a sniper like Simo is, he's a leader. He's leading men into battle that are going in heavily outnumbered. We're talking like 100 guys versus 5,000 men on the Kola front where they're fighting. So Utilainen's signature move, embracing Sisu and having no fear, would go out on the front lines in the middle of battle and sit in a rocking chair with gunfire and explosions going off, giving orders to his men to show them that they didn't have anything to fear. And Simo is now...
Hell yeah.
A dude in a rocking chair giving orders, being like, "Kill the Russians." It's like, yes, sir. And meanwhile, he's just sitting there with his Suomi machine gun. He's like, "All right, don't worry, I'll cover you."
It was obviously way after their time, but I like to imagine if they had been around like more in modern day doing this kind of thing, that they would have been blasting Children of Bodom in the background.
Oh, no doubt.
It's like Finnish melodic death metal playing on the loudspeakers while they're mowing down Russians that are trying to run in.
Or Sabaton, although Sabaton's Swedish, right?
Yeah, I think so. So I'd say Bodom because they're definitely from Finland.
Yeah.
orders from this guy. Okay, shit's about to get real.
and the White
So Simo shows up, they start digging trenches, laying out barbed wire, setting the front line. They end up fighting their asses off for 2 days straight. After that, they actually end up receiving orders to fall back a little bit, which they do. That becomes like Utalainen's thing. Like, we're not retreating unless we receive orders. We are going to stand here and fight till the bitter end unless ordered to do otherwise by our superiors. So they fall back, and Utalainen knows that Simo is like from this area. Like, his farm is right down the road. He knows the area, he knows the terrain. So he grabs Simo.
You know why they call me Simo?
Why is that?
Because I see more dead Russians than you see.
Ha ha! That's a good one. I like that.
I need you to sneak behind enemy lines and start cutting all the telephone wires. To which Simo replies, and I quote, "I'll try my best." And Simo's best is absolutely enough. He sneaks behind enemy lines. He's cutting all the telephone wires, just wreaking havoc behind enemy lines. Ends up making it back completely unscathed, at which point Utalainen is like, okay, this dude's super sneaky. He knows the terrain. I'm just going to make him like my go-to sniper for all my shit. Shortly after this, on the Kola front, where Utalainen is in charge, there is a Soviet sniper that keeps taking out platoon leaders. Okay, they're specifically targeting his officers, his best guys. Utalainen cannot have this happen. He turns to Simo, basically says, go get him. So that next morning before the sun comes up, Simo goes, has a big breakfast, and then takes off. He goes to the general area where this sniper's been operating, and he inserts himself in, and he builds a little snow berm, and he packs the snow down really tight, and then he pours water all over it so that it freezes into this ice wall.
Basically,
Is this the scene from that anime?
which one?
I've seen like a recent anime scene making the rounds where it's like a guy that's trying to walk up on a guy that's in a sniper's nest because he's also a sniper, but he's going very, very slowly, and he's looking and he's like, you can see his gun. Why does he have his gun visible? You would think he would be smarter than that, you know? Mm-hmm. And he gets up there to him and he's like, that's it. He's in the freaking box. And he shoots the box. And then the guy that, like, the gun that he thought was the decoy on the ground turns and shoots him. And he was like, he was actually playing like he was the decoy the whole time when trying to throw you off. He was just that still and shit.
Yeah. Well, no, for Simo, the main thing, him packing the snow down and pouring water on top of it, that was so that whenever he fired, it didn't cause snow to go flying up. Because that's
sense.
the thing, like the firing of the gun can make like the snow berm like just fly up. But by him making it into ice, it wasn't going to do that. But that's making him harder to spot.
And this becomes one of his signature tactics. And this is brilliant because Simo is planning ahead for failure. He is planning on missing his first shot. He never does, but it never hurts to be ready for the worst possible outcome.
Have a contingency.
He knows growing up in this environment and hunting his whole life,
in case your nerves get to you or something else.
Exactly.
Snow is going to kick up all around you into a giant cloud, and if the other enemy sniper doesn't know where you are, they're going to know now. So Simo, thinking 10 steps ahead, goes and eliminates the snow factor. He turns all the snow around him into ice so that there's nothing to kick up at all. And then he just lays there still all day long, not moving. He's constantly putting ice and snow into his mouth so that his breath doesn't create fog. So
that's the other thing too. Is like,
that was in the anime as well, so it was inspired by this.
No way of possibly seeing this guy, and he waits and he waits all day long, and soon enough the sun starts going down. And as the sun is going down behind Simo, he ends up catching a glint off the enemy sniper's scope, but he's not in a hurry, so he waits. So now he knows where the enemy sniper is, but he's patient and he just keeps waiting and he keeps waiting, and the sun keeps going.
That's the other thing too, is he doesn't have a scope to glint, does he?
Exactly. That's why Simo never used a scope.
Makes sense.
Yeah, because it can give away your position.
You can hit the shot without it. Why not? You know?
Exactly.
Further and further down, and it's getting darker and darker, and soon we're at the point where there's going to be nothing but starlight in 15 minutes. And at that point, the Soviet sniper just stands the fuck up out of nowhere. The bell just rang, and it's lunchtime at the factory. He just gets up because his shift is over, and he starts walking back to camp, and Simo drops him one shot straight to the head.
What an idiot!
Hey, solved the problem, no issue. It's been like 18 hours and Simo's already got this guy down, and this guy's been wreaking havoc on his men for like a week and a half. So Simo is obviously super legit, at which point Utalainen basically just lets him off the leash. Like, hey, whatever you're doing, Just
do it.
Fucking keep doing it.
Yeah,
Don't
just
win.
do more
This
of
is what
it.
Simo does
Yeah.
every single day. He goes out, he builds his ice berm into a couple of different locations that he has already set up, and he is just picking off Russians left and right. And unlike other snipers at the time that were trying to prioritize high-value targets like officers, Simo absolutely was not, which makes
Just
sense.
didn't give a
because
shit.
his family farm is
Oh no, I mean,
There's a Russian. Bing.
there's a Russian. Pow. Wait, is that a Russian?
That's a Russian general. Bing.
Bing. It's like,
Nice.
hey, bonus points.
Yeah.
right down the road. Like his family, his friends, where he grew up is literally under attack right now. If you were wearing a Russian uniform and he saw you, you were a dead man. Simo got asked about this later in life and he replied, and I quote, "I shot when I saw the enemy. I didn't care if they were a leader." Simo is literally treating the front line like it is a shooting gallery at the state fair. There are multiple days where he is logging between 10 and 20 confirmed kills. So at this point, Simo starts to get a ton of notoriety within the Finnish military, and it gets to the point where whenever there's a problem, it doesn't matter if it's a forward observer that's shooting accurate artillery, it doesn't matter if it's an enemy sniper, anywhere on the front line, they would send for Simo and they would pick him up, escort him to that part of the front line, and he would go handle the problem. And the best part about this is you gotta remember, this is Finland in December in 1935, so when they send for Simo, they're sending a reindeer-guided fucking sleigh.
Dashing through the snow with my with my Mosin Nagant rifle, I'm gonna shoot some Russians, laughing all the way. Bang, bang, bang!
To pick him up and escort him to wherever there's a problem, and he's gonna go out and solve it. He's like the shitty inverse of Santa Claus, except instead of leaving a lump of coal in your stocking, he's gonna put a piece of lead in your fucking forehead.
No witnesses?
I saw that one the other day. Oh,
Never seen that
around this
one.
point,
I love
Simo
it.
starts to gain notoriety with the Soviets, and they start calling him Belius Smirt, aka the White Death. The Soviet government puts a huge bounty on Simo's head. They're sending in counter-sniper teams to take out the White Death, and every single time Simo kills all of them. They never stood a chance.
Jesus.
The man can shoot 16 rounds a minute accurately out of his Mosin. He's wearing white camouflage in the snow. He's turned all the snow around him into ice, so there's no kicking up snow. You can't see his breath. He doesn't have a scope to catch a glint of. He's literally eliminated luck from the scenario. He is a complete ghost, and he's just wiping the floor with the entire Soviet military. So eventually the Soviets are like, okay, we're just gonna quit fucking with this guy. We're gonna quit sending men into that area of operation where we know the White Death is, and we're just gonna focus on other areas. And Simo takes this as his opportunity to go play offense. So he goes to Utalainen and is like, hey, give me a squad of guys. I'm gonna lead them into battle. We're gonna go behind enemy lines and we're gonna take the fight to them. So Simo starts leading a squad.
the speed skiers, dude. Once again, finish speed skiing.
It's like they're not coming to me anymore for me to shoot them. I got to go to them.
Yes.
You want to send anybody with me?
And I guarantee you, Utalainen was just like, is a pig.
He's probably like, who wants to go with the White Death? And there's probably 7 or 8 guys like,
me.
yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. It's like a dog. It's like, does a dog hunt? Let's go, boys. Let's go.
Past enemy lines at dusk every night, and they would literally ski miles and miles behind enemy lines where the Soviets think they're safe.
They're probably
And
struggling
back
to keep
there,
up with him,
they just
though.
have these massive bonfires that they're all sitting around eating dinner, drinking, smoking, having a good time at the end of the day. And Simo and his men would ski to within like 100 meters of them, dismount, and low crawl till they were right up on top of them. And then Simo and his men would pop up with submachine guns, mow down all the Russians, and then steal all their equipment, all their guns, all their ammo, all their food, and fucking bounce back to the front line. Okay,
Nice.
Once again, dude, the speed skiing. You can't discount that.
That's so gangster.
I know. Dude, I was going to say, never get involved in the land war in Asia, never get in a slap fight with a Samoan, and never fight the Finns in winter. You are not going to win.
guerrilla warfare on ice. It's absolutely terrifying. And you gotta realize, this is all within the span of like a month. By December 25th, 1935, Simo already had over 100 confirmed kills, and his record was 25 men in a single day. So the Soviets double, they triple their efforts trying to take out the White Death. They start sending in counter sniper teams with forward observers with them, and then as soon as Simo shoots one of them, they start just calling in artillery in the general area that Simo's in, but they never ever hit him. Whether it's luck or divine intervention or just fate, Simo makes it away every single time. And the best part is, every single time they try to do this tactic, the odds of them actually accomplishing their goal gets less and less, because every time they're sending in their best guys and Simo's killing them. So the quality of the men that Simo's going up against is
gradually declining.
In the year of 1940, Simo is an absolute legend with over 200 confirmed kills, 51 of which he got in 3 days. One of his other records at this point in time was he managed to take out 5 enemy snipers in a single day. Because of everything Simo's accomplished around the same point in time, Utalainen's boss, the general in charge of that entire front, pulls Simo back, and they have a ceremony where they award him with an honorary rifle. It's also a Mosin just like his, but it's, you know, very nice, decorative one, and they award it to him. And you have to realize at this point in time, Simo is very, very important to the Finnish.
Yeah, they gave it to him, and he was just like, "This is a nice rifle. I'm still going to use this one." And that's literally what he did. He just kept using his OG Mosin.
Yeah.
Not only is he out
I mean,
there
if it's
just
done
being
that
a
much
gunman,
work for you so far.
Yes.
an army wrecking house, taking it to the Soviets, but he's also huge for the morale of the entire Finnish military. Like, he is the hero that everybody's looking to, like, this guy's on our side, we might be able to win this. He is such a big deal that the general's wife knits him a pair of wool mittens, okay? It sounds like just like a nice pleasantry, but do you know how fucking gangster you have to be for the general's wife to feel motivated to knit you in particular a pair of mittens? Okay, that means the general is going home every night telling his wife, like, sweetheart, the White Death is the shit. He's the key to winning this war. He's everything right now. And the wife is like, oh shit, I better do something nice for this guy because he's literally gonna save the whole country by himself. So Simo gets his ceremonial.
It's probably not that he's going home. It's probably more that he's writing a letter back to her.
Yeah, yeah.
It's been like, this one guy is probably gonna win this for us. He's so dope.
Yeah. And then I was like, it's like,
and she's probably happy because she's like, this one guy might actually bring my husband back alive and end this war in our favor. Holy shit!
And then
I'm gonna knit him some mittens.
The general, like, he's just like, oh, it's a gift, for Simo. Here you are, Simo. And then Simo opens it. He's like, oh, mittens. I love mittens. And the general's just like, my wife never knitted me mittens.
He's also probably like, how am I supposed to pull the trigger with mittens on?
Yeah, that's the other thing too.
He's also awarded a pocket.
He was probably
watch,
like, there we go.
Perfect.
So he could pop his finger out.
Point in time is a huge deal to have a watch. So he gets all that, and usually at this point in time, you know, bigger, more powerful countries like America would pull you back and use you for war bonds, parade you around the country.
That's
but
true.
They send Simo right back into action because they can't afford to not have him on the front lines.
Yeah.
So Simo gets right back to work. He's playing cat and mouse with the Russians. Whenever they want to send men in, Simo picks them off. Whenever they don't want to send men in, Simo skis in with a squad, mows them down at their campfire. And this goes on for months. Simo just straight up farming the Russians for XP. And by March of 1940, the Russians grew impatient and they launched a major attack. And Simo said that the Russians just kept coming, just wave after wave, just meat wall tactics of, I'm gonna march my men into your gunfire until you run out of bullets, and hopefully I've got more men. And during this time, Simo's not up hiding at his ice wall with his Mosin. There's too many Russians for that. He's on the front line leading a squad of infantry with his submachine gun, absolutely taking the fight to the Russians. Simo had actually said that he had heard rumors that the Soviets were using the machine guns on their tanks to basically force the men to march into gunfire. And
no, really, that's what they did. That order was given by Stalin that there was no retreat. If you retreated in any way, they would kill you.
It's ridiculous.
No, it is. And it wasn't until Zhukov came in and just be like, that's stupid. No. Stop that. And basically when Zhukov was given like the reins of the Russian military, that's when they finally started to get their shit together.
If they wouldn't go, they would mow him down with the tank. And after seeing how many men were just coming straight at their lines, getting mowed down, Simo believed it. During this time, Simo set his all-time record for killing 40 men in a single day.
Damn.
Simo continues to lead his squad into battle until on March 6th at 2 p.m. when he feels what he describes as a suppressed bang inside of his mouth. He then said that he immediately felt his mouth was full of bone fragments and blood before losing consciousness.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Simo doesn't know this yet, but he has just been shot in the face with an exploding bullet, which has actually been a war crime since the 1800s. But, you know, hey, so is launching a false flag event to invade Finland to begin with, so why stop at one?
Yeah, the fucking...
Yep.
Yeah.
Simo is then scooped off the front
It's never a war crime the first time. You say it.
lines and
But
taken
it
back to
is
the native.
after it's been done before.
Yeah, and it's... Yeah, but it's literally like the Russians are just like, it's a war crime the first time, and it's just like, it is only war crime if enough people complain.
Station where he is triaged. Triage is the act of medics basically sorting out all of their patients to, you know, the people that need to make it to the hospital right now on the next truck to have a chance at surviving, the people that can, you know, lay here for a couple of hours and they'll probably be fine, walking wounded, and the final category, expectant, which basically means they're dead or they're going to die before they make it to the hospital, and we're not going to waste the space on the next truck. He is literally thrown into a pile of other dead Finnish soldiers. We don't know how much time passes, but eventually somebody ends up seeing Simo's foot moving in this, what is now a mass grave. They then end up getting Simo out, they get him to the hospital, and he is in a coma for the next 7 days. He then wakes up in the hospital on March 13th, 1940, the very same day the Soviets sign a peace treaty with Finland, effectively ending the Winter War. Coincidence? I think not.
You're supposed to be dead!
Okay, now
Am
obviously...
I not? Am I not?
being facetious, but for real, there's a greater than a 0% chance that the Russian military got a memo like, hey, we thought we killed the White Death, we were wrong, he just woke up, and the Soviet Union is like, fuck this, I'm out. Terminator on their team. There's no other explanation. The dude has to be hacking, okay? He's got over 500 confirmed kills at this point by running around in the hills, no-scoping people, and then we shoot him in the face and he still doesn't die. Not only that, it was an exploding bullet, literally a war crime because it's so deadly, and the dude just takes a 7-day nap about it and now he's going back into combat. No, we're done. Sign the armistice. Winter War.
Yeah.
Now the war
Holy
ending is
crap.
great news
Yeah, that's what he looked like.
Yeah.
for Simo, because now the hospitals aren't constantly under the threat of getting overrun by Soviets or getting hit with artillery, so they're going to actually be able to get him the surgeries and care that he needs to make the best recovery humanly possible. He spends the next 14 months in the hospital where he undergoes 26 reconstructive surgeries on his face and jaw. After those surgeries, Simo makes a pretty good recovery. He gets released from the hospital, he is released from his military duties, and unfortunately, part of the armistice between the USSR and Finland is that some of the lands that Finland had got relinquished over to the USSR, including Simo's farm. So the
Bullshit.
Finnish government actually gives Simo a new farm with a house roughly the same size, same type terrain, as close as he could get back to his old home. And from there, he just goes back to doing what he was doing before. He's farming, he's hunting, he's walking around in the woods by himself. He just goes back to doing his thing. For his service, he was awarded the 1st and 2nd class Medals of Liberty, the 3rd and 4th class Crosses of Liberty, and in 1941, he was nominated for the Mannerheim Cross, which is the Finnish equivalent of the American Medal of Honor. But unfortunately, that medal didn't actually get conceived until 1941, which is after Simo's service. So a lot of the paper pushers inside the Finnish government denied him getting the Mannerheim Cross because I guess his service was before that award existed, so that
Fuck that, dude.
Make a fucking exception.
Yeah.
wouldn't make sense, so he never actually got the Mannerheim Cross, but the man deserved it 1,000%. The final stats for his short time in combat were 542 confirmed kills, 249 of which were from his Mosin Nagant with nothing but iron sights, and the rest were from his submachine gun.
yeah.
Now, these stats have been criticized by both, historians in academia and internet comment sections today, aka a bunch of people that weren't actually fucking there, but these stats are validated by both his company commander and his company chaplain, the people that were there. And if that wasn't enough, which it should be, but just in case you think it's not, in 2017, well after his passing, his nephew stumbled across Simo's personal memoirs that he had never published, never let anyone else see, that he had written down for himself. And in his personal writings, again, to himself, that he never tried to get published, that he would have absolutely no reason to lie on, he says that he killed well over 500 men. But ultimately, Simo didn't, and probably wouldn't to this day if he was still around, care what you thought, because he wasn't doing it because he wanted the glory. He just went back to farming. He led a humble life. He didn't want to be known as the White Death. He just
wanted the Russians to fuck off and leave them alone.
Exactly.
That was his happily ever after, just living on a farm, doing his own thing, and that's exactly what he got. Okay, worth noting, he passed away in 2002 at the age of 96. The Soviet Union fell in 1991.
Yeah, he outlived the Soviet Union.
He outlived the bastards that tried to fuck his day up.
Yeah.
Okay, Simo Häyhä took the fight to the enemy to a degree that no other singular human ever has in the history of the world, and then he gets shot in the face with an exploding bullet, again, a literal war crime, shrugs it off, and then proceeds to live longer than the country that he went to war with. That's gangster as fuck. And that is the story of Simo Häyhä, the White Death, the farmer's son that rose to the occasion, defended his country against all odds, showing the enemy the true meaning of Sisu. Thank you for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch over at thefatelectrician.com. Quack bang out. The real moral of the story here is you should probably just be nice to everybody, because that little 5-foot guy at the grocery store might be the biggest badass of all time.
No shit.
True.
Oh, man. Love it.
It always cracks me up to people that mess with people just because they're bigger than they are. It's like, you don't know what kind of training they got. What are you doing?
Exactly.
Why do you have that big of balls?
Well, the one that
There's
always
no
gets
reason
me is Royce Gracie, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner. In the first 4 UFC events, he won 3 of them. And he went up against guys that were just like, they were titans. Like, the literal, like, he went up against Ken Shamrock, who literally looks like a Marvel superhero. 6-pack abs, like, jacked to the gills. Looks like he chews up steel and shits out nails. And honestly, the thing is, when Royce Gracie tied this dude up, and he submitted him in like 18 seconds. Like, dude, think about that. That is literally how, like and Royce Gracie, like, sickly looking dude, like 5'8", 130 pounds, against Ken Shamrock, 6'2", 240 pounds. I mean, you never know, dude. You never know the kind of people that you're fucking with. And this is a prime example of that. Simo, like being the man that he was a simple man. He loved to farm, he loved to hunt, and he just wanted to live his life. But when the call came for him to defend his lands, he did it. Not only did he do it, he did it better than almost anyone else ever has in history. And he never wanted accolades for it. He never wanted anything. He just wanted to live his life. And in all honesty, that's all you could ever hope for. Especially given his station and everything, how he came up. Oh, but all right.
I want to see the movies about this guy.
I do too.
I probably haven't seen them yet. So
I want to see a movie, like an actual like movie set in Finland, like shot in Finland, with as close to the genuine article as we can get. I want that. I think it'd be awesome. But all right. Anyway, I guess that's gonna do it. So actually, hold on. I got an idea. Instead, how about we do a video game made by the same people who made My Summer Car, but instead of My Summer Car, it's My Winter War.
That's a joke game, though.
I know, and
he deserves way more respect than that.
I know, I'm joking. But
not saying they couldn't make a serious game if they wanted to, but
yeah. But I think I'm just joking around.
Definitely don't do it in the style of My Summer Car if they're going to do it, you know.
Yeah. But, all right. Anyway, that's going to do it.
Although it would be really funny if you could pee on the Russians you shot.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. But anyway, that's going to do it, everyone. This was History's Deadliest Sniper, Simo Häyhä, the White Death with 542 confirmed kills. Let us know what y'all thought. If y'all want to see more from the Fat Electrician, be sure to show him some love. He's hilarious. He's awesome. I love watching his stuff, and he's always been very entertaining to me. And till next time, I'm Nate.
I am Nick.
Y'all be good people. Take care. Peace.